Live. Hangout is on the air. It says, "Hi, this is Leslie Roden with Marketers Braintrust, and I'm joined today by the ever lovely Michelle. That last name that's very hard to say, and the other, I don't know. I'm out of adjectives for Dan Thies. So, and just for the novelty of it all, we've decided to start this one on time today. We're going to split test that, see if 10 minutes late works better than on time. Who knows? It could go either way, I think. So. But we have a prepared presentation from Michelle today about some Facebook stuff she's been doing with a couple clients. But Dan, I think you also have kind of a news roundup kind of thing we're going to lead off with. Is that true?
This
This
is the
just in.
news.
This just
So,
across my desk.
it's actually been a slow week, believe it or not, which is good news for us, given that we're trying to do a news update, and we decided to do that yesterday. So, the big news that I think most folks would be interested in is that Facebook is rolling out this ad relevance score. So, Michelle, I don't know if this has shown up in our accounts. I know that like they roll stuff out, but that means that like we released it to one account yesterday, and others will get it in the future. But um, essentially, it's Facebook giving you some sense based on who you're targeting, how well matched your ad was for the actual target audience. And I think that this is going to cut down on a lot of the people that are asking, gosh, I don't know why my ads ain't working, because they'll realize, oh, I can't really target 1 million people with this very specific ad and think that it's going to be relevant to all those people. And so it's a pretty simple thing. It's based on how many people hide and report ads as bad, which Facebook basically treats as the same thing, which is thank you for voting that you don't want this ad, but we really don't care what your opinion was about it, which is how it should be. So that's fun and exciting. For folks that may not be quite as many of them in our audience as there are out there in the larger world, Pinterest is now saying, we really don't want your affiliate links anymore. So that's going to be some fun for a lot of people that have been having some fun with Pinterest for a long time, but now they'll have to find some other way to get the internet to poop money for them without having a real business model. So sorry, folks, Pinterest is going to shut you down for affiliate links now. Gosh, Michelle, the expected changes to the AdWords scripts where we can now have it manage bulk upload spreadsheets is there, so we'll have to figure out like whether we can actually execute our crazy scheme or not with that. Not terribly interesting to anybody else, but what the heck, Michelle and I are here. We can have a little private conversation along the way. And for those that are keeping score, we had a couple of more lawsuits over trademark owners getting their panties in a twist and suing someone for advertising against their keywords. And not surprisingly, the defendants won again in both cases. And boy, I sure wish that would get to enough higher courts that they would just write it into the law that don't be stupid. They're not trading on your name. They're just advertising when your name shows up. And
Yeah, I don't know where they thought that. I don't thought why they thought they had any grounds there is beyond me. But okay, whatever.
Well, most of these are getting as far as summary judgment. So
Well, yeah, that's
not
kind
too
of the
far.
yeah, that's kind of the first step. So yeah, right after filing, there's a 12b6 motion, and then there's a summary
Well, you
judgment.
got
So
standing
yeah,
and then no, but
yeah,
every precedent says you're full of it.
yeah.
And let's see, were there any other exciting things going on that we really want to talk about and take time away from Michelle? Upgraded URLs for tracking parameters. That's more inside baseball on AdWords. And Bing rolled out auction insights worldwide. So if you're a Bing advertiser, you can get auction insights now everywhere you go. And John Mueller from Google has confirmed what we already knew to be true, is that there is no whitelist that they can stick you on if they think you're a false positive for Penguin or Panda, mostly because they don't think that anyone is at this point.
Probably that's true.
So if you want to get out of it, nobody at Google can help you. They cannot Nobody can stick you on the secret list unless you have the password to get the automatic #1 ranking. But I'm not allowed to tell people that. So anyway,
We reserve that for premium clients.
That's
yeah,
right.
actually, I don't actually have one. So there's that.
There's that. Okay.
Yes, we don't actually have a secret deal with Google, although we should claim to have one. Everybody else in SEO does.
Well, I think you should just say that we could never confirm nor deny that. That would be the fair way of saying it.
Well, we can certainly never confirm it.
That's true.
But yeah, it might not be to our advantage to deny it.
Exactly my point. All right. So, shall we switch gears from Google and AdWords over to Facebook and hear what Michelle has to share? She's got some actual client results, some early results.
Yes, Michelle has actually taken the time to prepare for this and give us a presentation that will educate and illuminate us. Although actually, I'm not sure about it. We'll do the lighting, but we'll definitely get educated.
It would definitely do that. So I'm going to make you the present to everyone.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and then but it didn't work. You see, it always takes like 2 button presses. It's kind of crazy. Okay, now it's working.
Fantastic.
I'm talking, and look, you can see her and listen to me. That's weird. It's good. It's spooky.
It's fantastic.
Now, if you can just try and match in like lip sync with Michelle, that would be really freaky.
That would be really freaky. We got to agree on what we're going to say. Anyway.
Okay, let's go.
All right, let's go.
True. So I don't know if I know how to do this either, so we'll see if I.
You have to share screen, an entire screen, and then we'll get probably the infinite regress, and then you're doing pretty good so far. Present.
How we doing?
There we go. It's awesome.
All right.
And I didn't realize that the Google Drive is now full screen actually stayed on the screen. So next time, I guess I'll dismiss that button. Oh well.
So I'm on full screen. I can't. So I won't see any.
Yeah, you just click allow, and now it'll still say that for a second, but then it'll go away.
Yeah.
Perfect.
There we are. Okay.
So
go for it.
Really, today, guys, I wanted to talk about this Facebook video stuff. What's really fun now is that you're able to upload your videos to Facebook, which we've been able to do, but now you get to do a lot more cool stuff with it. And fortunate enough to have a client who needs to remain nameless, and so I've blurred things out to protect the insolent. But really, they wanted to do some video tests with Facebook, so of course I'm happy to oblige. And they're producing a series of videos to introduce future products. And they only had one goal for this, so there wasn't a back-end marketing goal on sales. The only goal they had was getting a certain number of video views. And so that's kind of nice, makes it for an easy test for now. But I had to decide, how did we want to run the test? And so I had 2 audiences that I was working with, and you actually can run 2 different kinds of, actually more than 2, but I chose 2 different ways to run the video tests on Facebook. I did a video views type ad, and I did a page post engagement type ad, and I'll show those in just a minute. And literally I did it 3 consecutive days. So we're going to have some anomalies or things that happen simply because the same audience is seeing a new ad, and those things will begin to happen. But I have some results that I think you guys will find to be pretty cool. So for audience 1, on day 1, I ran a PPE or page post engagement ad. On day 2, a video view ad, and on day 3, a page post engagement ad. And then I inversed it for audience 2. So I was just trying to keep it as simple as possible, but also remove the fact that one audience might be more responsive. Both audiences were familiar with the brand. So one set of audience was a retargeting pixel who had visited the website but not made a purchase in the past, and the other one were actually the buyers list, so the buyer targeting pixel as well as their email hashed against the Facebook audience. So that was kind of fun, that we're using people who already know the brand. And I just want to show you guys how to run a video view ad versus a page post engagement ad. So you go right into your normal advertiser. If you see the gray on the screen now, it's because we've switched over to Business Manager. They tell me it's going to be better. I don't love it yet. But so if you're not looking at your screen and yours is blue, it's because you're not in Business Manager yet. So don't sweat that. But basically, you can go to Get Video Views. And a video view ad is pretty similar if you've run Facebook ads before. It looks very much the same, except that you have to pick. I don't know if does my mouse show when I do this on the screen?
Yeah, it shows. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you get to upload a video or choose a video that has already been uploaded to your page, and then you simply fill in your text and your call to action. What I don't necessarily like about a video view ad, and this is Michelle's opinion, and that in a quarter, you'll have a quarter, is you only get 90 characters. So when I tell you it's just like a regular ad, it's just like a regular ad. You have very limited text that you can work with here. But I do like this call to action. So you can actually, at the end of the video, send them to a particular URL, and that URL can include UTM tags or campaign tags so you can track it back in Google Analytics. And then you actually have the display link here. I have yet to see where that link shows up, but I fill it in because, you know, that's what they tell you to do. But whenever you're boosting a post on Facebook or doing a page post engagement, Facebook says to you, this post has a video. Are you sure you don't want to run a video ad instead? So I wanted to try it both ways. So video view ad, here's what a video ad looks like, and I'll show you. It's all blurred out, but you'll get the gist. So you get your branding, you get your like page button, but this is about how much text you get. So maybe all the way almost to 2 lines, but no more than 2 lines of text. It usually runs about 1.5 lines of text.
So if I boosted a post that was a video post, I would get more text. But because I want to get video views, they give me less text.
That's exactly right. You get less text because you want to use their video view ad. And I'm going to show that on the next example too. And so the deal is, and I've got some data to support it, it depends on what you're trying to do, right? I like the storytelling feature. I like the long form posts that are starting to get some traction now. 90 characters isn't a lot to sort of begin to introduce a story in a good way if you're telling a video, I think. But it's still, that's what we have to work with, so we work with it.
Less than a tweet, but
yeah, it's
about comparable to an AdWords ad, give or take 5 characters.
Yeah, that's about twice as much as a search headline, right? So
you know,
it's not nothing. But I mean, really, it does say that the video pretty much has to almost stand alone. I mean, almost on its own feet, right? Because
whatever that image is has to be clickable, has to make somebody want to click it, because there's not really anything telling the story about what they're about to see.
Yeah.
It's not 90 characters is barely enough to say in this video you will see, right? So
the headline.
But that, yeah, you get just a headline, right? And so the other kind of ad that you can run is a page post engagement. And basically and the reason I've showed it both ways is it's called Boost Your Post inside of Ads Manager, which is different than Boost Your Post when you're on your actual Facebook page. I love that they call them the same thing. When you go to boost a post on your Facebook page, you're limited to just a handful of changes that you can make, and you can't limit your audience by interest and behaviors and things like that. You do have some demographic capability, but not nearly the extensive capability that you can if you come in and boost your post inside of Ads Manager. What's funny, though, is once you get past this part, they call it a page post engagement. They don't call it Boost Your Post anymore. So,
because somebody somewhere decided that Boost Your Posts made sense, and they didn't tell everybody else that they were doing that.
It was probably two separate teams in Facebook. So while we're on it, because he has nothing but a headline, and then the video itself has to get the engagement, really. Bill asked in chat, can you do a custom thumbnail, or is that automatically extracted from the video, 74th frame or something?
There is a one that you can pick, but to the best of my knowledge, you can't automatically upload one that you would want. So
explain that.
So it gives you several options of what it's clipped, sort of like in YouTube. You used to just say, which one of these 3 do you want? You can
Gotcha.
pick one of those, but so far as I know, you can't upload one of your own. But I'm going to mark that down to double check because I want to double check that for sure.
Yeah, that seems like it would be really important to be able to do.
And one of the things that I didn't note it before, but one of my understandings for video ads too is they still have the same 20% text rule for the first 3 seconds or some number of seconds for the ad. So you can't have that more than 20% text covering the video in the first number of seconds, and I can get that data. But so you still have to be pretty compliant with the other rules. You can't do a full page spread of a text ad and put it at the beginning of the video.
And don't even try to have like a branded title screen for your videos.
No, absolutely not, because that won't fly. So
Okay.
when you want to boost your post in Ad Manager, you have to go ahead and create the video post on your page. Now, you can create a post as you go, but I prefer to do it right on the page so you have it, it's done. And at the time you upload your video, you can actually include your call to action in the video upload, which is something that's fairly new on Facebook. You used to be able to upload the video. When I say fairly new, within the last few months it's rolled out. I was uploading videos in December, and there was no call to action at the end, and now there is. And so you can tell it what link you want it to go to and what button you want it to say, if you want to say watch more or learn more or download or something like that. The beauty of the Boost Your Post or Page Post Engagement is that you get to use long form copy. So you can see over on the right hand side, that's just lined out the copy that was already on this post. So 6 lines of copy. I think you can get 6 to 8 lines of copy before you even get the more link.
And if they actually click on the video to play it, the rest of the screen light boxes out, and you get all that more text over on the right-hand side of the over to the right of the video. It'd be a beautiful landing page if it was a landing page, but this is a really good ad format, the way that it sets up and actually displays, especially on desktop.
It looks pretty.
Yeah.
It looks pretty. The other thing that you can do is, and this is something I was testing too, is you can add new URL tags here. So I actually split out my URL tags in testing this. Even though the customer wasn't measuring visits to the website, I had one set of UTM tags for the actual Facebook page, a set of UTM tags that were running for the video view version, and a set of tags running for the page post engagement. And I learned a lot about how not to do those tags in doing that as well. So
all of which is a fancy way of saying you can measure the end result through analytics and
absolutely.
not just measure what happened on Facebook.
Exactly, which is kind of cool, right? Because, and in their case, they only wanted video views, but if we were trying to send people to make a purchase, we could say, hey, did we send more people from the page? Did we send more people from the boost? Did we send more people from a video view?
Well, you can, sometimes it's just, serendipity, right? I mean, it wasn't our objective, but we got 5 conversions on this one and none on that one. Maybe we want to try this, let's figure out why this converted and what we can do to make more of that happen.
Absolutely.
Another
Never
question.
hurts to measure.
Another question from Chad about this. I mean, so the limitations we're discussing here, that actually is part of the Facebook platform, and it's not, you don't get any extra power by using the Power Editor, right?
I have not tried this in the Power Editor. Power Editor does have some new features in regards to being able to split test some ads, but I have not looked at that yet in regards to video. So they're actually allowing you to do an ad where you're doing, say, an age group, and so you might put an older person in an ad for the older person and a younger person in the ad for a younger thing and still be a part of the same ad set.
Oh yeah, so that's part of your targeting rather.
Yeah.
Shira asked about what you're referring to as tags, and it's actually a misnomer. They're not tags; they're parameters. So it's on the URL for the landing page, and so it's like, mysite.com/some landing page.html !UTM stuff. And if you can find that, if you go online, just Google for the URL, Google URL Builder.
Yes.
We'll explain how to create that, or you could just look in chat because Dan had it handy. So back to you, Michelle.
No, absolutely, please, and it's super easy.
Yeah, I got that on a quick key, Leslie.
I'm going to be, and there also is, Greg shared in Skype with me the other day, there is also for the URL builder, there is a Chrome plugin. And so I need to install that. I haven't started testing that yet now, but I'm not doing any ads now where I'm not using these tags or URL tags or parameters, because it's not useful to me if I don't know where the stuff's coming from, right? So, and I've started even developing my own pattern for doing it. So we're doing some ads on YouTube, so I'm beginning my tag with FB dash, and in our case, what the video number was, and then the code word for this particular video.
Yeah, because I mean, little safety tip for everybody is if you don't put the UTM parameters, then what it looks like, if you're not careful, you can end up showing that as direct traffic. Now, if the referrer is still intact, which I can't understand why it would ever be intact if you don't have an HTTPS website, but that's another story.
Android.
Then, yeah, well, there's that, right? It's certainly the case that mobile doesn't abide by the rules about passing the referrer string, but you're going to get a mess in analytics. You're not going to really be able to tell where your traffic is coming from unless you're using those UTM parameters.
Right.
And
Well,
more and more is going to be the common.
Echo already, right? I mean, we've seen sometimes it's 5 or 10 times as much untracked traffic that came from somewhere, but not directly from the ads that we're running. That's great, but you'd certainly like to at least know how much you could measure. Because well, it makes a lot of difference, particularly when we're looking at attribution. Michelle and I have been spending a lot of time in analytics the last couple of weeks, looking at how to build kind of the best attribution model for our clients that are advertising on Facebook and AdWords and doing SEO and doing content marketing and email, and how do you actually figure out is Facebook making a difference? And for a lot of them, there's a direct correlation between brand name searches, for example, and how much advertising we're doing on Facebook. If you don't measure that traffic from Facebook, you wouldn't be able to suss out that correlation at all. So measure stuff, people. It's not that hard.
No.
It's not. It's not. And then it's nice because you can go over to Campaign and your analytics and filter and take a look. So use all that good stuff. The other really cool thing about the page post engagement or boost your post is that you can attach a tracking pixel to it. And so if you have conversion tracking pixels set up inside your Facebook conversion pixel area, you can say, hey, I would like to know if this ad triggers any conversions. It's not, none of this is perfect, but it's, again, more measurement is better measurement, I think. So measure early, measure often, something like that. Was that vote early, vote often, whatever. But
yeah,
measure all the things.
Yeah, measure all the things. That's Dan's epic quote for the day. Measure all the things. So here is what that might look like on the page. Of course, you already saw it on the other page. Same situation, branding. If they don't already like the page, there's a like button, 6-8 lines of text, the image of the video. And so here's where it gets really interesting, and here's where I found the test to be kind of fun. And so here comes data, right? So over here we have the videos 1, videos 2, and videos 3, and what kind of video, what kind of ad it was, so a page post engagement or video view. And then my group visitors but not buyers, and then buyers. Here's what was interesting and consistent was that I definitely got, when I ran a video view ad, I definitely got a higher view per reach by running the video view ad. So in this case, right? Well, that's what Facebook tells you that's just going to happen. If you will run a video view ad, we'll get you more video views, right, per reach. But for my spend, the page post engagement actually got me more video views. So the cost per video view was lower, I should say, and which made more video views. So after the first one, doing it Facebook's way cost me 44% more. After the second, 41%, and after the third, 15%. Excuse me, one second. Sorry.
Although these are really close values here.
They are close values. They are close values. So it really is a matter of testing it for yourself, right?
Yeah, and I think it actually, to get to statistical significance, this would have to run a lot longer. This would be declaring an answer too soon, but it's very interesting. I mean, it is a preliminary result, and it's an interesting preliminary result because it's consistently uh, opposite,
Some
right? You know,
patterns is interesting because
yep,
they're consistent.
yep,
Yeah.
yep,
Well,
yep.
we'll
Very
talk about this
consistent.
for one more second. I need to grab just a sip of water. I'm sorry, guys.
Yep, indeed, indeed. So, yeah, I mean, I mean, obviously, really, really small variation, but still, the fact that we changed
Well,
out
here's the
views
thing,
and the
Liz,
days, and
is
we
that
still got the
the
consistent.
variation gets smaller the longer that we run, and this is only 3 days. And obviously, I mean, right, we'd want to see this repeated a number of times and see a similar pattern a number of times because,
Mm-hmm.
right, I mean, one day could be, President's Day or
Yeah, right.
Valentine's Day or whatever, and it might somehow skew what's going on, right? There might have been bad weather in the
Atlanta.
Northeast affecting, a big chunk of our audience. There's too many things that can go wrong with a serial test, which is the only way we can do this.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, this is the way to do the serial test is to flip them back and forth and run the exercise repeatedly. We kind of wanted to have a fourth, or Michelle was looking for a fourth, but didn't actually have a fourth video to run. So
Mm.
so there's that. But what's interesting, I'm sure Michelle intends to speak on it when she gets back,
I'm
is
back, but go ahead.
um,
Let me hear what I'm going to talk about.
well, it's interesting how in just 3 days the Facebook optimization algorithm appears to have done a pretty good job of homing in on who wants to watch videos. That's why we really would have wanted to have that fourth one to see if it flipped for the visitors, not buyers audience as well. But the difference in the buyers audience over 3 days is pretty substantial when we're looking at the cost per view.
Right. Right. Well, and I wish I could have run more, and it didn't work out like I wanted to. But the other because the data is good. But here's the thing: either way, whether you run a video view or you run a page post engagement, 3.7 cents per video view is nothing to sneeze at for price.
Right.
I mean that we're back to the days of what was it? What was the old penny click
Go
stuff?
to, yeah.
We would
Overture.
gladly pay all of you people 3.7 cents to watch this hangout.
There you go.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so that to me is the even greater finding is so we spent 48, not quite $48, and had over 1,200 video views.
Right. That's a good day.
Yeah, it's a very good day. There is some additional data that I learned about yesterday, but did not have time to incorporate it into the equation. But there is now additional reporting inside Facebook that shows us the splits. We could see this if you really want to get down and dirty. You can see the splits on how many of these videos were shown on mobile, how many of these videos, how far through they were shown, all that stuff. And so you can really
You
get
can
to
look at gender and length of the time that they watched it together and all kinds of amazingly cool stuff to help you tune your message to the audiences, and in some cases realize that you really should have split that audience and delivered 2 different messages or 3 different messages.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Karen asked a question about targeting, I guess. What
Oh,
was the target audience profile for these? Different profiles may give a different result against each type of ad? Question.
absolutely. And so in our case, some of it was magic that I won't talk about for the benefit of the client, but to not be too broad here, basically these are all retargeting visitors. They've all been to the website before, but then we're adding on some of the special sauce that you get in behavior in regards to maybe what kind of money they spend or what areas they spend in. And so we
So
didn't
these
just
are remarketing audiences with additional factors that we'll just have to refer to as additional factors.
thank you. But yeah, so they're the right factors for this particular client and what they sell.
But it's the same between
Yes.
yeah, it's just, yeah, okay, right.
You're precisely the same audiences, visitors, not
Same
buyers.
filtering,
Yeah.
all that, yeah.
Yeah.
Rerun exactly the same each time.
The key difference here is some of them visited but didn't buy and others were buyers.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So, but really, and so this was all sort of the data compilation. I thought it was interesting, and I suspected on day one I was really kind of floored by the fact that the video view cost was 2.8 cents, and versus 4.1, doing it the way Facebook wanted me to, 44% difference. I did not know if it would hold or not hold, and clearly it didn't hold down to day three. But
Although we really want to see video 4 so that we can flip the audiences again and see it like
yeah,
that pattern continue. So next time, get these guys to make 4 videos for us. Tell
okay.
them it's important for, I don't know, some reason other than we're just trying to do weird science.
Let me
Don't,
see what I can
don't
do
tell
on
them
that.
that.
Let me see what I can do
You
on that.
can
You're
tell them
welcome.
that. They like weird science.
Yeah, well, weird science is good, but that really is all. The other part I think that if we and Dan hit on it, is this relevant audience relevance. I looked up the audience relevance on this, and so it was useful, but not as useful. My audience relevance was 10 out of 10 because I'm uploading my own list. So
Well, yeah,
that's good.
that's the easiest bullseye to hit, but it's still important to recognize that hitting the bullseye is a good idea. And I mean, once we start to get more data out of this, we'll be able to draw a curve that shows that score versus conversion rate clear as day. So,
Right. Absolutely. Let's see. Now I should have switched back. Did that work?
Yep, you did. You did it right. Good deal. That's awesome.
Thanks.
That's awesome. And stop presenting.
That's what I'm trying to. Let's
Well,
see.
that's how I'm doing it. Just don't.
Oh, you got it. Okay, stop helping. Okay.
Yeah, stop helping. But one of these days it'll actually take the button.
next time, help the bear.
Yeah,
No.
it's ridiculous. It doesn't.
I know Leslie hasn't seen that movie.
Yeah, it's not familiar. I mean,
See?
I don't know what
Bam!
there it
Again,
is.
push or
Finally.
fail.
God,
Okay.
you have to like push the button like 6 times, but okay, it's working now. Except it's not working. She's still presenting.
Well, no, I'm not presenting, am
Oh,
I?
you're not?
I
Okay.
saw Leslie show up. Now I'm showing up.
Okay.
Wait.
All right. Fine. All right.
It's
Good.
rotating around.
All right. Good. All right. So let's see. We had Kevin mentions that video views you have to take with a grain of salt. Yes, understood. There's a but.
Preliminary test, preliminary data.
But
Just
you actually do have access to the data.
yeah,
I mean, Facebook doesn't see it as their responsibility to find people that are going to think your video doesn't suck. They just want to get you to people that will push the button and play it. But you do actually get data on how long they watch and all that kind of stuff, and that does let you. I mean, right? If people actually absorbing your message is important to you converting ultimately, well, if it's not, then your message is a problem, but
Yeah.
unnecessary. But you'll be able to go into the insights and see, okay, well, women are watching this thing for 6 minutes on average. Men are watching it for 3 minutes. Either we've got the wrong video for men, or maybe we should try just targeting women. But we spent, I don't know, 8 weeks going over this a year and a half ago with the targeting and segmentation training that's out there still. But
Yep.
it matters not the first time you run a campaign, but over time, the data that you collect becomes just invaluable in terms of refining your targeting and improving the profitability of your campaigns. Because when you first go, no matter what you do, half your money is wasted.
Well, yeah. I mean, actually, I would kind of. I mean, I would say it's
Invested in science.
It invested in data. That's right. I mean, that's you got to buy your way to data at first, right?
Yeah,
And
that doesn't mean you didn't make a profit. It's just you could have been more profitable, and you will be if you just keep doing the work.
Or you may find out that your idea sucks, and that's good data too, right? Before, let's say that you wanted to go into some market and you completely misunderstood what those search results meant, and so you manufactured a whole container load of stuff in China and had it on the water before you figured it out, hypothetically.
If you had toy electric bikes for kids, and it turns out that electric scooters means wheelchairs.
Something like that. I mean, that would be a possible. It could possibly happen. I don't know. I don't think we know anybody that did that.
But Googling once was market research.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Just the one time. And so, yeah.
But all the stuff that we've learned through the years, and I when I talk to customers about this, and it's just the new channel. right? All the same things, all the same ways we tested before, headline testing, rotating ads, trying different copy, all this stuff. This is just a new channel to try it and with new ways to do it, but with far, far, far better targeting than the small guy had access to before.
There's never been targeting like this other than showing up at people's houses and, like
direct mail. You could have done
knocking on the door.
If you wanted to spend a lot of money, you could always do it with direct mail. But yeah, that's a big boy game for sure.
Well, and for direct mail, the kind of money you'd spend to get as much on leads as we can get on Facebook by clicking the mouse. Come on, I mean, you'd be paying $4 an envelope for the lead.
Yeah, no, right. Yeah, it would. I mean, it would be really high. I mean, we know somebody who does that kind of analysis, and it can be expensive if you're.
I used to do that stuff back when it was simple and it was complicated.
Right. Yeah. So despite all the holes that there are in tracking, bear in mind that anybody in an offline business would kill for the kind of tracking we get. Imagine what it would be like when a person walked into a retail establishment. If we had, when they walked through the security scanner, that the clerks in front of the in back behind the cash registers got the kind of data that we can get when we're running an ad on Facebook.
No, what it used to cost us to merge two databases. Right, we might be buying data from somebody over here and buying data from somebody over there, and you got to pay these guys to run that data through their laundry machine to get what you want. With Facebook, they've got all these partners with things that can do incredible things to your ROI that you can just again merge with Facebook's database with the click of a button. So we're living in a golden age of AG goldness.
Of data, yes. Yeah, data is your friend. Yeah, you got lost in that sentence, that's for sure. Yeah, no doubt. Well, I think we've got, let's see, same rules, different tools. Yeah, I think we've got all of our questions answered here. Let's see.
I promised to keep it under 25 minutes for you, Leslie. I did.
Yeah, and it was, we didn't want to do a 90-minute show like we did a couple of times.
Well, last week was 90 minutes, but let's be fair, 50 minutes was waiting for the show to start.
Oh, please, come on. We started about 12 minutes late. You're a nut. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in chat, since we were just talking about all this good targeting stuff, marketersbraintrust.com/UTE1. And so, I mean, this is, many of the foundational pieces, the components, the stuff behind the secret sauce that Dan and Michelle are not alluding to. That's the course that Dan put together a year ago. Yeah, last
summer.
Spring. Yeah, okay, last spring or summer.
And we got still more stuff that we're going to be adding to it fairly shortly. I think we're going to do 3 more sessions that we're going to be adding to it fairly shortly. Just I got to figure out how to capture a radio show I'm doing and see if I can turn that into one of them, or if I have to do it again, the same content separately. But it's but that's kind of just the first 2 or 3 weeks of that is kind of the foundation of how we target and do the micro targeting, because you're trying to find, if you can imagine there's a bullseye, and right in the center of the bullseye is the perfect targeting that's going to just make Facebook rain whatever conversion you want. What we're trying to do is throw darts until we figure out where the center of the bullseye is, and then we can just pepper that area with darts until we've saturated what Facebook can do for us, which most of the time is rather a lot.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of the foundation course that we've got in that. If anyone's interested in learning more about that, so that's just by the way.
And for the audience, for you guys, if you want to go in and look at your own reports, in Facebook, I was just pulling up where to get to it. You actually go into your reports link in your Facebook Ads Manager, and there is a general metrics report, but if you will pull that down, there is a report called Video Actions. And so you can run these tests yourself, run your videos. You can see the reach, the frequency, the duration, and all that data, whether it was an autoplay or what it was. So all that data is out there. It's just a matter of getting in there and playing with it and seeing what works for you.
Okay, excellent. All right, well, I think we've answered all the questions at this point that were in chat, and so thanks everybody for hanging out with the Braintrust today. And we actually started on time, which is cool. And we're not going 90 minutes, which is also cool. And so we'll be back next week with a subject to be announced, unless Dan and Michelle, you have something in mind you want to announce right this moment. But we will at some point actually have an editorial calendar, and so we can tease you a little bit more in advance than like the day before, which is normally the case. But we're still working on that, kind of putting people in rotation about who's going to be presenting. So,
we have a calendar. Now we just need to
put something on it.
Yeah. Editor for the calendar.
Indeed, that's true. So until then, by all means, Skype us, say hi, get on our email list, mail support if you have some questions, and by all means, get on the Hangout and ask your questions. We'll answer them live every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. So thanks a lot for everybody for showing up, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.